What happens to your body, brothers and sisters, when you get most of your protein from plants? When you understand that it is important to focus on micronutrient density, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. The determination of our health depends on the amount of micronutrients we consume per calories. And we get our calories from protein, carbs, and fat. The reason why there's so many fat, sick people in the world is because our focus is on macronutrients. Juggling high protein, low carbs, low protein. It's not about calories. The quality of your life depends on your focus on the micronutrients. Or what I like, that's the scientific term. Me as a preacher, I like to simply call them the medicine foods of God that keeps our lymphatic system strong, our adrenal glands cleared, our organs strong, our lymphatic system, our immune system, our heart. It is the micronutrients. Animal protein is low quality. It's very low quality. It's not meant for human consumption. It gives you a concentrated source of animal protein that shoots up your insulin-like growth factor 1 levels. That is a growth hormone. And when that growth hormone remains elevated past puberty, it has a strong link to all of the different cancers. Animal protein has no fiber. That alone tells you it's not meant for our body because our colon is highly dependent upon fiber to push the food matter through. And animal protein has no fiber. And it's filled with saturated fat, and all of these chemicals in the air get trapped in the animal fat and passed on to us. And then through the torture and the murder of the animals, that produces an extreme level of cortisol and other stress hormones that are released. And this is why we have so much mental illness. It's just no excuse at all. And it's evil. It's evil and it's immoral to consume animal flesh. That's animal flesh, and all animal protein is toxic. All animal protein, whether it comes from, because a lot of people don't consider fish to be animal flesh, which is dumb because you have to torture and murder the fish. But then we do have people that are still not completely vegan, and so they do the eggs and so forth. All animal protein is toxic to the human body, all of it, all. And I don't recommend it at all. We simply have much better sources, and you can get all of your essential amino acids from your plant foods. People are always yelling about complete proteins when quinoa is a complete protein that gives you the fiber and the micronutrients. And your unprocessed organic soy products like tempeh and soy are complete proteins, which again will give you your micronutrients and your fiber. Animal protein contains no fiber. And at the Health Reformation Church of Jesus Christ the Nazarene, we teach that everything that we put in our bodies must contain fiber. Brothers and sisters, we have our sanitary pads drive on Friday. So if you are listening to the sound of my voice, if you are enjoying this video, if you enjoy this ministry, if I am a blessing to your life and to the life of your family, then please do the right thing as the Holy Scriptures. The true religion of the Most High God is living a life of service, not being selfish, rising above what you're going through. And I don't believe that there is a sister who is listening to my voice right now. If you are, let me know in the comment section and we'll help you immediately. That if your poverty is so bad that during your menstrual cycle, you can't even afford pads. I don't think that's the case. Well, this is a major issue in third world countries for our black girls. I mean, a major issue. This issue is so big that a lot of our girls will prostitute themselves for pads. That's how much. If you look at what the world makes per day in US dollars, you would never in your life claim that you are struggling. you will never in your life claim. So that's the situation we have. And we meet this community demand the second Friday of every month. We go into poor areas, poor schools. We buy over 1,000 pads, but our pads are organic. We're the only ministry that does that. We buy over 1,000 organic pads, and we go to poor areas with our girls and we pass them out for absolutely free. And we need your tithes and your offerings and your seed of life. We need us all to step up to the plate. The initiative to do our initiatives, the total cost of our initiatives is a $5,000 budget. Today and tomorrow, it is critical that we have all the funds so that we have a successful initiative and that every girl who shows up, we can give them the pass that they need and then have enough to leave behind for the community. Amen. Please don't be selfish. Please don't be a leech. Proverbs 28:27. You'll never have financial blessings. You'll never have the healing and the protection of the Lord if you do not commit your life to serving and giving to those in need. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. We're in desperate need of your hundreds, your 500s, your thousands. We need Seed of Life sponsors for our sanitary, our organic. That's very important to make that distinction. Sanitary pad drive for our girls. Zelle is on the screen. theministerofwellness.com/give. theministerofwellness.com/give. We do give receipts for tax purposes for all who request at the end of the year. That is not an issue, but that should not be the driving force behind you helping a girl to not have to be tempted to prostitute themselves or drop out of school because they can't even afford proper pads. And of course, we are the Minister of Wellness Ministries, so we want them to have the top-notch quality. That's why our drives cost much more. Let's work together. Let's be a blessing so that you can feel the peace and the joy of the Lord. So you reduce your diabetes risk when you overcome your food addiction. I have a 12-part series on overcoming your addiction. And the link to that is in the description box of this video, along with tons of other follow-up health information. How to overcome your addiction. When you consume macronutrients with no fiber, it creates addiction. This is why it's so difficult for people to stop eating themselves to death, because they're food addicts. A concentrated source of protein with no fiber, it creates a dopamine rush in the brain. This is why flesh is so addicting. This is why animal protein is so addicting, because it's giving you a concentrated source of macro. Whenever you remove the fiber and you eat something with very little micronutrients, it's a drug. It gives you a drug-like effect. That's why it's a sin to eat anything without fiber, because fiber allows your body to process it slowly, so it doesn't cause that dopamine high in your brain that leads to addictive properties. So when you switch out the animal protein for plant-based protein, and protein originates from nature. Protein does not originate inside of the flesh of a chicken or a cow or a pig. It comes from the sun and the soil and the air. So protein is a plant-based development. It's amazing how people today are still so stupid that they don't even understand something as basic that we haven't even got past this argument about protein. It's amazing. And that shows that we're not that intelligent of a species as we think we are. So eating the plant protein will improve your body's insulin sensitivity, reduce your risk of diabetes. And I have videos on full videos dedicated to diabetes in the description box of this video. It'll support your heart health because it reduces cholesterol and oxidative stress, and it reduces the saturated fat levels because plants don't contain saturated fats that raise your blood triglycerides and cholesterol levels. Even the wicked American Heart Association agrees with this, and they're not even vegan, and the American Diabetes Association. This is indisputable information. And I have videos on heart health. Check out the Red Fruit Fast. Link is in the description box. You can also book a consultation with me, and you better book one before I have to raise the prices again. My consultations are at a very low level for 2026. The ministerofwellness.com, the ministerofwellness.com. Plant proteins are rich in antioxidants, and they will lower your blood pressure. Because these antioxidants support blood vessel health, keeping them flexible and relaxed, lowering your blood pressure and improving your heart health. And high blood pressure is called the silent killer. Full link videos on that as well. It'll aid in weight loss because of the micronutrients. Yeah, the micronutrients will aid in your weight loss because you can eat as much as you want, but your brain will tell you that you're full before you overeat when you focus on plant protein. Animal flesh, you have to starve yourself. You have to go on a starvation diet, and eventually you will binge. That's why 100% of all diets fail long term. The plant proteins will improve your gut health because the fibers break down in the gut and turn into short chain fatty acids for your heart health, preventing constipation, lowering cholesterol, and which protects against certain types of cancer. And as long as you eat a variety of your plant foods, a variety of greens and beans and onions and mushrooms and berries and nuts and seeds, you'll get all of your amino acids. That is not a concern. You need to be concerned about micronutrients. That's what you should be concerned about. And if you're seeking to heal your body, then you have to fruit fast. You have to go on a fruit fast. Study my playlist, eat your fruits, juice your vegetables, and take your herbs, especially for those trying to reverse chronic illnesses. Once your body is healed and you want to move on to more of a maintenance plan, then we can add our G-bombs in. But for those of you looking to reverse any of these conditions, if you're looking to reverse heart issues, if you're obese, blood pressure problems, lowering your diabetes, then you need to fruit fast. And all of the information on how to do that properly is in the description box. And if you're still confused, and again, you need to invest in booking a consultation with me, your Minister of Wellness. But make no mistake about it, brothers and sisters. According to Sirach chapter 38, verse 4, the Most High God has only created medicines from the earth, the soil. Medicine comes from the soil. He who is wise would not abhor them. I have everything you need for your essential supplement needs at the ministerofwellness.com, the ministerofwellness.com. My online store is so important because not only does it give you what you need for your health, and my supplements are high quality, my supplements are potent because I'm very careful with putting my name on a supplement. So I vouch for the Minister of Wellness name brand supplements. However, here's something important to consider. My supplements are not only more expensive than others because of the quality and the potency, which is important. But brothers and sisters, I am proud to be able to state to you that 90% of all profits that come through you purchasing the Minister of Wellness books, vitamins, minerals, sea moss, goes into our missionary initiatives. So when you choose to support the online store at the retail cost without waiting for a sale, you're not only helping yourself, but you are still helping the poor. That's the beauty. That's the spiritual blessing of supporting the ministerofwellness.com online store. The ministerofwellness.com, the ministerofwellness.com. Help yourself and help the poor by making a decision to purchase the Minister of Wellness products at the full retail cost.